Hello everyone. Today we're going to be going over some more complex Punnett square work. If you are confused by anything in this video, please look at our first video for more simpler Punnett square examples. Alright, so today we're going to be going over what happens when you combine two parents through sexual reproduction with two alleles. So we'll be looking at 4 alleles per parent. And in this example, we're going to be using the alleles for parent 1 of a dominant uppercase G, a recessive lowercase g, a dominant uppercase R, and a lowercase recessive r. The G's will represent the color. Dominant is green, recessive is yellow. And for R, the dominant trait is going to be a round pea plant versus a wrinkled pea plant, for the R alleles. And then our second parent is going to be a uppercase dominant G followed by a lowercase recessive G and then 2 lowercase recessive R's. And so parent 1 will be green and round, parent 2 will be green and wrinkled. Now the first step to determining what the offspring will look like when you sexually reproduce between these two parents is to figure out the combinations of paired alleles between green versus yellow and then round versus wrinkled. And it sounds confusing at first, but basically what you do is you set up a Punnett square with each of the one trait on one side of the Punnett square and the other trait on the other. So as you can see here, we have big G, lowercase g, uppercase R, uppercase lowercase r. And you do a normal 2x2 Punnett square. You do the rows and columns again. So you just keep carrying them over. And then what you will do with these 4 Punnett squares then is you will put them on the top of your 4x4 Punnett square, and that will act as the different possible alleles that could be traced down into the offspring. And so we'll move these 4 right over. Order does not matter. Big G, big R, little g, big R, big G, little r, and little r, little g. And now we'll do it for the second parent as well. So again, we just transferred over each allele over into the Punnett square. One side for one trait, the other side for another trait. And now we do it again. Same Punnett squares, rows and columns. Big G, little r, little g, little r, big G, little r, little g, little r. And again, once more, we will simply transfer over each of these squares into the side of our 4x4 Punnett square. So again, big G, little r, big G, little r, little g, little r, and little g, little r. So once again, order does not matter. You simply move it over and make sure you have properly transferred over. And again, similar to a 2x2 Punnett square, the 4x4 Punnett square works the same way. You're combining the rows and columns where they intersect at different squares. And you just transfer every single thing. So you'll have 4 different alleles for each box. So the first box, we'll go right down the line. We have 2 uppercase G's, and a big R and a little r, because you combine a big G and a big R with a big G and a little r. You get 2 big G's, 1 big R, and 1 little r. And you're just going to go right down each box. So again, rows and columns. Alright, now that this is done, here's all we have to do left is to count up however many of each square of different combinations we have, and then calculate the probability of you having a green and round pea plant, a yellow and round pea plant, a green and wrinkled pea plant, or a wrinkled and yellow pea plant. So there's 4 different possibilities, and so you're looking for boxes that demonstrate that it is showing dominant versus recessive. So there's really only 4 combinations we have. You can either have green and round, green and wrinkled, yellow and round, or yellow and wrinkled. Now, again, similar to how we calculated probability in our first video, you simply count up the boxes that will show green and round. So we're looking for dominant alleles. We only need 1 in order for it to display that trait. And so as you can see, we have 1, because it has an uppercase G and an uppercase R. So we have 1, 2. This is not, because this shows wrinkled, because it's 2 lowercase r's. This as well does not show it. Nope, no. This is, again, so all of these have lowercase r's, so none of these will count towards being green and round. So again, we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. These 2 show yellow traits, so they do not count. So we have 6 total. And then you divide it by the overall boxes within your square, within your Punnett square. And we have 16. So that simplifies to 3 over 8, which is equal to 0.375, which is equal to a 37.5% chance that the offspring of these 2 parents will end up being green and round. And you can continue this for each of these different possibilities. And again, you count up what could be green and what could be wrinkled. So we're now looking for a dominant trait for green, and then 2 recessive alleles for wrinkled, because that's the only way we're going to get a wrinkled trait. And it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So again, we have 6 more. 6 over 16 again, because there's 16 squares in the entire Punnett square. And that again simplifies to 3 over 8, which is equal to 0.375, which again equals 37.5% chance. So there's a 37.5% chance that that between these 2 parents, again, it'll end up with green and wrinkled as the offspring traits. And you continue this for yellow and round and yellow and wrinkled. So for yellow and round, we're looking for recessive G's, so we're looking for lowercase g's, and round, which is dominant, so we're looking for at least 1 uppercase R. Now you go through your Punnett square again, you find it. So you have 1 and 2. Because we have 2 lowercase g's for the 2 recessive alleles, allowing for the recessive trait of yellow. And then the dominant uppercase R is to show the round trait. So it's 2 over 16, which is equal to 1 over 8, which simplifies to 0.125, which again equals to 12.5% chance that it will end up with this combination of traits with these 2 parents. And finally, what you can do is to do the final one. You have 2 ways now. You can either count up the squares again. That will work as well. Or you may simply count up how many are left in the alleles. So we've already used up 6, 6, and 2, which ends up with 14 out of 16, which means there are only 2 boxes left, which are shown right here and right here, because we're looking for 100% recessive alleles within the whole trait, which comes out to 2 over 16 again, which again simplifies to 1 over 8, which simplifies to 12.5%. So again, there's another 12.5% chance that it will result in yellow and wrinkled. And so again, to check your work, you can again do the fact that you count up each allele. 2 out of 16, 2 out of 16, 6 out of 16, 6 out of 16, right up to 6 out of 16. So this is how you finish up these 4x4 box. Please look at our other videos.